I hope this helps you, and I hope this inspires you to keep moving forward. Here's my story. Throughout high school, I was never an A student who excelled at everything, was top of the class. I had a very poor work ethic and a very high level of procrastination. I let my work pile up and pile up until the very last day, until I had no possible way of getting it all done. And that caused me to get into some trouble with myself. About my junior or sophomore year, that procrastination took me into depression. The work was spread out all around me, and I was sitting in a beanbag chair, and I remember looking at all of the work around me, and the panic attack hit me, and the world came crashing down around me, and I said to myself that I was not going to make it out of this. This is how I am. This is what is going to be my life for the rest of my life, and I am doomed to a life of procrastination and high levels of stress. And like I said, I wasn't good at school, so I would get frustrated that I couldn't understand what was in front of me and what I was reading, and it was late. I had no sleep. I was tired, and that's where it all started. The thoughts that came to my mind terrified me because I had never been that kind of person. I never imagined that I would be that person. I never imagined that I would get to that place, that I would be suicidal. I remember sitting there for a second, and the panic attack got 10 times worse with the thoughts that I was having, and wondered, what do I do? Because I'm not prepared for this. Nobody's ever prepared for becoming depressed and getting into this mind state. It kind of builds up on you, and it builds and it builds, and then it snaps and it crashes, and everything starts falling down on you. And that's when those thoughts, I feel like, hit you. I stood up, and I was going to go tell my mom, hey, I'm having a rough night, and I'm having these thoughts, and they're freaking me out. And I'm not sure what to do. But I wasn't sure, how am I going to tell my mom, who also has anxiety worse than I do, that I am having suicidal thoughts. I remember waking her up, and I was like, hey mom, so I'm a little nervous because I'm having these thoughts. So I said, I am having thoughts that start with an S, and I think she kind of understood where this was going, and luckily, and I'm so grateful that she didn't flip out. I became very nervous 24/7. I was terrified to be by myself because the thoughts would get worse. I imagined every possible way that I could harm myself, or if I really wanted to, I could really destroy myself and end myself. I remember a very specific night before my family was going out somewhere. I don't remember where. I think we were going out to eat. I remember I had this pocket knife, and it was sitting on a shelf in my room, and I was terrified of it. I took the knife, I opened it, and I remember holding it against my arm, not cutting myself, but holding it there. And my hand was shaking, and I was telling myself that I am going to beat this, I can beat this, and I hope that tomorrow is better, and that this is not what is meant for me. The cause of all this, the work that I had put on my own shoulders from the procrastination. I had my family really buckled down and made sure that they were with me 24/7, because I remember asking them if I was ever going to be able to be by myself again. And they sat with me, and they were with me, and they made sure that I got my work done. Their power of hope is what kept me alive. I, believe it or not, did something that I thought I would never do. I walked the stage at my graduation, and I graduated with my class, 2015 of Arlington High School. And I remembered the feeling of walking across the stage and knowing that I had made not only myself proud, but I really had made my family proud, because that was my biggest fear. And I remember looking up into the bleachers and seeing my entire family staring down at me, smiling and clapping and cheering me on. And all I could do while I walked that stage was point at them, because they truly saved my life and helped me get through my darkest times. A memory that I will remember for the rest of my life. And I'm ever so grateful that I made it out of that. The power of hope is so strong. Never give up hope. Never give up on yourself. And if you have a friend that is hurting, have hope for them and let them know that you care about them and that it is going to get better.